Hello, gamers. My gamer Americans. How are you? There's a cat up there. I think you can see it. Hold on. I don't know what she's looking at, but she's gonna get it. I'm gonna play some Elden Ring today. Yeah, I'm sorry if you got the notification, because I assume there's a lot of people that watch my stuff and they don't want to see streams, which I think is fair. I don't really watch streamers myself. I remember CGP Grey. CGP Grey started doing like Minecraft streams every day, and it's like this is not why I subscribed. I don't want to see this. So this is just a one-time thing. In the description, there's a channel that I'll start doing the streams on in the future. You even need a streaming channel? Yeah, I don't want to do it on this all the time. It's like I said, it's annoying. I'm probably gonna delete the VOD after this, frankly. Also, because I plan on saying a lot of slurs during this, so try to destroy the evidence. I was gonna play Elden Ring. Yeah, let's play Elden Ring. It was just for a second. I was just thinking like, ooh, play Civilization 5. It's lacking a lot of features. You can't do ethnic cleansings in Civilization 5. Thank you for streaming channel. Yeah, this is just a one-time thing. I remember I once did that super drunk Christmas stream when I was in Italy. I think this is the only... No, I've streamed on here before, but like last time, well, there was that time, and then before that, I'd done a few streams, but they were how do I put this? It was like I had like 2,000 subscribers at the time, you know. If I can crop this a little. So I'm currently at the Crumbling Dragon, whatever the fuck. I don't know if I can... Can I not crop this? I bet I can fuck with that. I'm sorry. Let me fuck with that. If only you knew how bad things really were. Or really are. What does that mean? Wait, pan? No, there we go. Sorry you can't see the cat now. That should be good. Yeah, as you can see, I desperately need to go to a fucking barber. What builds do you like to do in Elden Ring? Longsword. Like, I really like the, Oh, thanks for the tip, by the way. Amer. What was I gonna say? What's the name of this? It's like the Dragon Banish Knight's Blood Greatsword. Alright, so I'm just gonna run through this shit. Because I always end up getting got. I just, fuck it. I hate this part so much. Excuse me, pardon me, sorry. I need to have... like a sound go off if someone... I know I'm supposed to call out if someone does a thing. Sup, sucker? Let's show him our raw gamer skill, guys. Oh, nope. Ah. There you go. Gamer Pro Stat number 1. Don't let yourself get caught on fire. It's bad for you. That's just the first of many pro gamer tips you're gonna get. Oh. Nope. Ah. Pro gamer tip number 2. If you're having a hard time beating a boss, play Kirby instead. Fuck. Can I swear on this? YouTube generally, it's like it's run by my mom or something. It's fucking madness. The way that, like, you can't say the fuck word. No one noticed, and it bothered the hell out of me. No one noticed on the Aztec video part 2. I say fuck at literally second 8, you know? And, you know, if you say it 7 seconds or earlier, you get demonetized. I've never been prouder of myself the way that all worked out. That's a real gamer strat. Oh, all right. This is the stupidest attack. I hate this guy. Oh, thanks for the... What sort of currency is that, Amon Savant? Oh, Jesus. What up, my... No. I don't play Morrowind. I'm not allowed to say that. That is their word. But howdy, not a hero. I'm sorry if I missed something. Please let me know if I'm just sort of busy being a gamer at the moment, you know? Busy collecting dubs and poning noobs. Sir, stop it. That attack has not landed once. You're embarrassing yourself. Come on. Alright, there we go. Your Discord invite doesn't work? You're not missing much. Shit don't happen in there. So much for I'm gonna say a lot of slurs. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't deliver. Unabomber ass hairdo. Oh yeah, no. I've started just buzzing my hair super close, but I've been very lazy. I haven't gone to the barber. Just in general, it's like, you know, I'll work really hard to get the video out, and then I'll be like, I'll take care of stuff like that and laundry and all that once I'm done. And then I finish the video, and then I'm like, I don't want to do laundry and go to the barber. I'm trying to relax. So that's the vicious cycle. My fiance, like, sometimes she'll shave me, like, buzz me. We got a trimmer. Just, like, in the bathtub. I might just have to bite the bullet and do that, because I feel too lazy to just go to the barber and spend $30. It does feel silly to spend $30 to just make this shorter, because that's all they gotta do. Oh, buddy. Oh. Come on. There we go. Oh. Shouldn't have gone for that. Gaming. Love the videos. Thanks, Bungaloo. Jesus. Have you tried Nair? I don't give a shit about balding. It's life. Do I wish I had another 5 years? Eh, sure. I look terrible now, like I said, because it's not trimmed at all. But when it's all actually properly trimmed and shaped, it looks pretty good. I don't got a weird head or anything, so I count my blessings. That dragon doesn't respawn, does he? I mean, even if he did, I'm just running past him. This is just the hairline you get when you play Dark Souls. It just magically happens. Same as when you're a big fan of Marvel movies. It's just sort of, you don't really get a choice. You see, the thing is, I was going to get one of those Turkish hair transplants, but they tricked me. They just took my hair and gave it to a richer guy. Fell for the oldest trick in the book. You remember those Turkish ice cream guys? Where they flip it around and they keep it from you? It was like that, but with my hairline. Keep looking at the camera, I'm almost finished. The LeBron James of gaming. Man, it's so crazy. Like, I saw that like, apparently he's gotten, like, transplants and shit. Elon Musk certainly has, too. The Chad Bezos versus the Virgin Musk. You know Bezos doesn't think about that culture war garbage. It's incredible to me. The world's richest man fell for the psyop. What a fucking idiot. Oof. Sir. Relax. I really like the designs of these guys. Like, I know they're just big skeletons, but I don't know. I like their outfits. Sort of Near East, Persian, Egyptian, something like that. Come on. I can't even get the repost. Oh, Jesus. Got any advice for a wannabe YouTuber? Make things that are fun and you won't really care if you're successful or not. Like, I'd still be, like, I did this for a year before I had, like, over 2,000 subscribers. You can see my first Game of the Year video. I referenced that. Yeah, no, I mean, it's so fun. YouTube is so fun. I don't know why all these fucking guys... You can go to, like, the YouTuber subreddit. Like, it's called NewTubers. There's, like, a NewTubers subreddit for, like, little guys just starting out. And there's a partnered YouTube subreddit. They're both black-pilling as fuck. It's just so depressing. Because, like, you'll see the guys on the NewTuber subreddit. Like, if I found my niche, you know, is, like, the thing that the algorithm wants you to do. If I looked for my niche, I'd be the guy. I'd have 30,000 subscribers because I'd be the only English-speaking stalker guy. And, like, to be clear, obviously, I like the stalker games a lot. But the idea of building my professional, like, my career around stalker, that's fucking embarrassing. Like, I don't want to do that. It's just a game I like. And I'd pretty quickly start to fucking hate it. Because then I'd have to play all those mods that just absolutely ass fuck you. How do I get out of here? I didn't even see what item I got. I just saw loot. And I was like, ooh, givey. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. That's useful. Man, am I going to have to... But yeah, no, like, literally just have fun. And if you... Then you don't care if you're successful. Because, like, I have no fucking idea why anyone would be, like, trying to approach YouTube from the, how do I get people to watch perspective? I don't know. It's like, it's lame. People don't know what they want. Show them what they want. Lords of the Fallen 2 is the shit or shit? I've heard a lot of complaints about performance. I personally just I don't like Souls-likes. I like FromSoft games. I sort of got a video about that. I don't know if I'll ever make it. It's one of those things where it's like if I hired an editor, I'd probably make it. But it's like if I don't care enough to edit it myself, then you know, it shouldn't be made. Sorry, I'm burpy today. Yeah, no. I don't like Souls-likes. I just like From Software games because they're really fucking good. I mentioned this in a Twitch stream. Wasn't Dark Souls 3 video the one that blew up your channel? There were a few videos. The first ones that I did that were really got any amount of traction whatsoever, beyond, like, you know, 20 guys just stumble into it, were the Stalker videos. The Doom Eternal one did good. I don't know. It was like lots of little things. The big one, I guess, was Far Cry 3, which I never saw Ascent from. And, you know, I'm trying to be all like, it's all about the work, man. Trying to be all little hippie about it, but no, I am pissed because I never saw Ascent from that fucking Far Cry 3 video because I used 5 seconds of a Kanye West song. And at the time, I didn't care because I had like 1,000 subscribers, so I didn't get money from it anyway. So I was like, oh, whatever. But big mistake because that video has like 2 million views now. Have you played Lies of Pi? Why did you decide to do history videos? I don't know. Just thought it was fun. Liked it. Originally, I just did, like, what was it? Waifus of history. And I just started reading about Rome. And I was like, wow, this place is pretty cool. Just sort of went from there. You know, you get older. You start to learn more about what you like to do. You know? It definitely wasn't a plan. There's never a plan. Like, I get a lot of questions, like, so you done with gaming videos now and stuff? And it's like, man, I don't know. I'm just doing this. Like, the plan for next is, Diamond Dog says, if you considered playing / reviewing Baldur's Gate 3, I don't. The last thing I want to do after all the fucking research and editing I had to do for the Aztec video is, like, sit down and play some 100-hour RPG. Like, I don't like RPGs that much. I don't really want to do that. I like Bethesda games, but those aren't even RPGs. I used to like Bethesda games. My God, Starfield's bad. Embarrassing. Actually embarrassing. I tried to return it, but they were like, no, you played for 5 hours. It's like, yeah, but they were the worst 5 hours of my life. No, it's just garbage. It's pretty depressing. I can't imagine what it's like to, because, like, I know the feeling of, like, you're working on something, and it's not, and you put, like, everything into it, and it's just not as good as you thought it was going to be, but it's, like, too late, and you got to finish. Because that's a terrible feeling as a creative. So I feel bad for Bethesda employees, because, like, they definitely were, like, they spent, like, 10 years on this, and then at the end they were like, oh, it's not fun, and they just had to, like, what are you going to do? Ship it. Sucks. Inca video win. I don't plan on doing an Inca video. The next Spanish one I want to do is the expedition of Coronado. Was it Coronado? Cordoba? Shit. Who's this guy? He's too mentally stable. There's a dead hooker in there. Oh, you can't see the closet, I just realized. Yeah, it's alright. But yeah, no, I'm not a big RPG guy, so, you know. I don't plan on playing Baldur's Gate 3. But, yeah, so basically, this is after the fall of the Aztec and the Inca, you know. The Spanish, you know, their big thing was past the initial, like, the Caribbean exploration. They wanted civilizations, you know. Kill the king, become the new king, that sort of thing. Or, like, you know, essentially the same tribute system that existed with the Aztec. Except, you know, they now lived there and shit. And obviously there was cultural, you know, I get into it in the videos. But, you know, there were only Mesoamerica, broadly speaking, not just the Aztec, but also the Mayan states. Because they were, you know, they were city-states all over. Like, these were civilizations. Agricultural. They had, you know. And I'm not trying to put down nomadic tribes or whatever, you know. But, the Spanish had zero interest in buffalo shit, and, you know, they didn't care. But, yeah, no, this guy was I think it was Coronado, shit. The video was barely written, I just read a little bit. Thank you, Eblination Z. Did you do a video on the Mongols or Huns? I don't know, maybe someday. But yeah, no, it's basically he ended up, you know, he heard, it's not really the El Dorado story, specifically, but the same basic idea. Like, oh, there's golden cities up there. Gotta go find them. I definitely fast traveled to the wrong place. Yeah, I did. You know, just a wild goose chase for essentially a similar type of civilization north of Mexico. Obviously, there wasn't dick up there. Like, yeah, you did have, like, actual complex, like, political entities, I guess, like the Iroquois Confederacy. Apparently there's something with the Mississippian peoples, but, you know, not like Mesoamerica. Like, Mesoamerica was, to put it simply, rich. And that's what the Spanish were interested in. I'm sure all the very many peoples living north of Mexico at the time, I'm sure they were rich in culture. The Spanish didn't give a shit. So he went on this wild goose chase. In particular, there's this one translator they captured. I only know the broad strokes, you know, but the broad strokes are so compelling. I'm like, yeah, this is going to happen. And they nicknamed him the Turk. I guess he looked Turkish. And, you know, they were looking for, not El Dorado, but these wealthy cities. And what they found were, like, the Pueblo people. You know, so it's just like fucking bricks. It's like nothing to them. You know, after Tenochtitlan, It's like, oh, what the fuck is this? But the Turk was like, no, that way? You can't see me. He's like, he pointed, you know. He's like, that way. No, there's 7 golden cities. And, you know, one thing that I'm curious about, and I'm going to have to see when I dig more into it, is was he intentionally lying? Because the direction he was pointing was the Great Plains. They were in the Texas Panhandle, and and he was pointing towards the Great Plains. There was nothing that way. You know, nothing the Spanish would be interested in. And essentially, whereas Cortez was basically a nobody and became a big shot via his actions, or the actions of others, you know. This Cordoba guy, he was a big shot. He was the viceroy of New Galatia, which was the colony just north of Mexico. He was a big shot, and he basically lost everything going on this wild goose chase for these 7 golden cities. Like, you know where his expedition ended? When he finally was like, all right, this Turk guy's full of shit. Let's kill him and turn around. He was in fucking Kansas. Oh, god damn it. Did I go backwards? I did go backwards. All this talk of civilization. I want to play Civ 5. I'm sure it's boring, and I'm sorry, but I want to play Civ 5. Yo, Peach, what's your take on what's happening in Gaza? I'm a big supporter of war crimes. I like war crimes. I don't care who's doing it. I don't care why they're doing it. I love when war crimes happen. And, you know, so I'm eating good tonight. And, you know, that's my stance on the matter. I just love them. There's something about them. But yeah, no, picking a side. I mostly have spent the past week or so just getting pissed off at fucking Redditors. Because in every goddamn subreddit, you see all these goddamn comments like, fuck around and find out. What a bunch of fucking bitches. Like, my god. They're gleeful at death. They're a bunch of fucking ghouls. And they think they're good people because they got vaccines. Fucking ghouls. My god. Fucking hate Reddit so much. Alright. Let me see. What about the cities in the Amazon that disappeared? I don't know anything about that. My knowledge of Native American civilizations does not extend past Mesoamerica in any meaningful way. That's part of the fun of these videos. It's also what makes them stressful. Is essentially like I'm learning this. Like I just basically I really want to know the answer to something. I start learning about it, and at the end I'm like, hey, here's all the stuff I learned. And this is what it means to me personally. Like, this is what I took from this, you know. I do wonder, I'm going to start going to school next fall, you know, actually going to go use that GI Bill, start studying history. And, you know, I am a little, I know you can't see it, I'm fixing it, hold on. Hold on a second. There we go. Well, let me scroll down chat. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, someone... Have you ever tried out any of the historical grand strategy games? Most people I know like history as much as you do seem to enjoy them. I like Total War Rome a lot. Obviously, I'm very fond of classical antiquity. I was hoping after I finished the project, I was like, well, I bet there's like a Total War Mesoamerica, you know? Sort of small scale, but they did they've done so many of those. Unfortunately not. That does not exist. There's DLC for one of the games, but, you know. Minor in archaeology. I want a minor in classics. But we'll see how it goes. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? God damn it. I've never seen a ginger over 30 who's not balding. Yeah, I genuinely think it's like the genes are tied together in some way. Imagine studying history, though, LMAO. Biggest mistake of my life. There's this one guy, he commented recently. He was like, wow, Cobbler's videos make me want to major in history. And I was like, I'm so proud to be such a negative influence on your life. In my case, I don't know. This is like YouTube. It's everyone just does the bare minimum. So I feel like actually devoting yourself to trying to improve yourself. One thing I'd like is I would like to try to take a class in like 3D modeling or something because I really need to get better at this. I do not have the patience to sit down and get better at it. I got the patience to sit down and read a million books about the fucking Aztec, but I there's something about Blender where I do not have the patience for it. Now I feel bad. I should go back to Elden Ring. History's not fun for a major. Oh no, we'll see. Minnow Dixel. I don't give a shit about being bald. I don't know why y'all care. What are you? Are y'all? Unless my fiance is currently watching the stream, and if she is, she better get back to her fucking nursing test exam thing. One history major to another. Good luck. I'm going to get my MIA in public history. I hope your studies go well. Thank you. Do you get a haircut before you film a video IRL? Like, are you trying to be real presentable? Generally, you know. I guess the one exception was the Smedley Butler video because it was a time crunch. I was trying to wrap that shit up before I went on a little trip to the East Coast. Fuck it, I'm gonna go back to Elden Ring. I know that I will not be able to play this game while also talking. Blender is just no. Oh no. I looked at like community college classes in this area, hoping that I could take some little course or something in Blender. Like I'd pay for it out of pocket, you know. I wouldn't mind at all. Get me out of the house, you know. It's probably healthy considering YouTube and all that. And bring back powdered wigs. You see, that's a move. Fucking, why don't you use Minnow Dixel? Oh no. Well, I should just go get syphilis, put on a powdered wig. Like all the cool kids. How do you obtain primary sources? Where do you look? Well, if you get... So actually not... Because I haven't actually studied history. Like, I know that Bernal Diaz is not... his account is not technically a primary source. Because it was written like 3 decades after the fact. Really, Cortez's letters, I guess, are the big primary source. That and like... Matthew Restall in particular. He got into like documents, like who was on the boats when and all that shit, you know. Like those would be primary sources. But yeah, no, I mean with Bernal Diaz, like literally I just, like I said in the video, I looked up Aztec death whistles and I was like, this sounds like bullshit. Who wrote about this? Who was the eyewitness that said, oh no, this is what they did? And that was Bernal Diaz, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a good book. Just got it, started reading it, and you know, went from there. And then I ruined 3 months of my life. Depict to the Conquistadors as out-of-touch youth pastors is one of the best bits you've ever done. Thank you. I'm very happy with the way that turned out. Generally speaking, when I get criticism, you know, if it's like good faith, I try to be like, yeah, you know, like I try to be reasonable about it. But I got like one Discord something. The guy was like, I didn't like that. I feel like it was, you know, not serious enough, and it was a very important part of the story, and you should have focused on it. I was like, no, fuck you. That was hilarious. Because that's literally all that it felt like. You'd be reading the account, and literally every fucking time, some delicate, diplomatic, like worlds colliding, the old and the new, and still you got fucking Cortez like, so what do you think about Jesus? It was the funniest shit to me. History is funny. That's the thing. I get all these goddamn comments, like, you know, not all of them, obviously, broadly speaking, most of them jerk me off, which is just the way it is. It's, you know, fans comment on things they like. But whenever I do get negative comments, in particular on the history videos, it's like I feel like the jokes are getting in the way of what you're doing. The jokes write themselves. History is hilarious. Like, fucking Hernan Cortez walked into the Templo Mayor, and according to, I think, both his letters to the king and Bernal Diaz, he was like, can we put a little chapel in here? It's fucking funny. Like, it's hilarious. He literally fired off that cannon, like, you know, trying to spook him. Okay, am I going... Oh, this way. I think this is it. Yes. This is the end game. This is the Elden Ring, guys. We found it. Where the fuck? How did I... How did I forget? Alley-oop. Man, I don't know. This isn't very epic gaming of me. History isn't actually funny, they're myths, but all historians agree that keeping the memes alive is most important. History is funny because people are funny. People are fucking weird. Do you like Latin American history during the 20th century? I'm making a game where... Excuse me. As I've said, I like history because I get to engage with politics without getting caught up in, you know. And I feel like 20th century Latin American history would be pretty, you know, it'd be really hard to get through the bullshit. A lot of people, it's crazy the amount of defense you'll see of intervention in Latin America. Like, man, the way I see it, if you're a poor country, I totally get why you'd elect a socialist. Like, it doesn't matter your personal feelings on socialism. You know. Oh, hey. Okay, so we are going the right way. Alright, guys. You know, the real difficult part of this area is it's really hard to play a game while erect. You know, these guys just get me going. Politics without the international studies shit is nice. Don't ever make a video on World War II. Yeah, I have no intention of doing that. I don't know. I don't have intentions of doing a lot of things. One thing I fucking hate is, like, I get it because I've done the same thing. But, like, telling a YouTuber, hey, you should make a video on this, like, especially if it's history. It's like, man, lots of history is interesting, you know, because that'll be the point. It's like, well, this is actually really interesting. You should do this. It's like the big thing I usually get is like Chinese history, Indian history, you know, the things that I have just not really talked about. And yeah, I'm sure it is interesting, but it's like you're asking me to spend $100 probably because the libraries around here are fucking awful. You're asking me to spend $100 in several months just totally throwing myself into this subject, and I need more to go off. Like, the way to get me into something is not to say this is interesting. The way to get me into something is like the death whistle thing. Ever heard of Dreamy Bill? Bull. Yeah. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware. If it's interesting, they should make a video on it. That's what I tell them every fucking time. You know that you can make YouTube videos, right? Like, no one will stop you. Not only will no one stop you, no one will care. So, like, you don't need to be self-conscious about it. Like, I gotta be self-conscious. I gotta be, like, right, or people yell at me. You don't gotta be right. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You can be in there like, what if altist, just, like, making shit up. Love you too, Vulture. This VTuber model's realistic. Man, this shit is moving fast. You died. Oh my god, I remember, so my best friend in high school, his brother, how do I make this bigger? I'm trying to make chat bigger because I keep missing it. He's moving too fast. Aztec was very interesting and quite niche. Have you read Neil Gaiman's Sandman? No. Why did you choose a cobbler? That's for me to know and you to find out. French Revolution History Topics class where we role-played the French Congress during the Revolution. I'd love to role-play as American Congress prior to the Civil War. Just beat the shit out of guys with canes. It's sort of crazy how heated shit started to get. I think it's because they genuinely cared. Because, like, fucking Ted Cruz doesn't care about trans people or whatever. He doesn't actually care. It's all very cynical. They're all lizards. They don't give a shit about anything. And that extends to all of them. I do have a tendency to always do the both sides thing, but maybe if one side was competent, I wouldn't have to do that. Free Palpatine. Somehow Palestine has returned. Any idea what your next video might be? Current plan is, what did the Romans think of Egypt? That's why I said in that community post, have I played my part well in the comedy of life? If so, applaud as I exit. And that was apparently Augustus's last words, and obviously I have to talk about him. It's sort of interesting. It's sort of an intimidating subject, because number one, everyone wants to know. What the fuck did the ancient Romans... They see these big-ass pyramids? They're like, what is this? Obviously, Herodotus, the Greeks were... The Greeks got into Egypt before the Romans did. The Romans were just posers. But it's an intimidating subject because the way they felt about Egyptians literally played a role in deciding the first emperor of Rome. Because it was a propaganda war, and Octavian won the fuck out of it because Mark Antony, like an idiot, was banging some Egyptian broad. I forget her name. I don't think she matters. I only care about Bigfoot history. God. My dad's really into the ancient alien stuff. Now, I want to be clear. Like, I've been, like, really plugged into the, all the UFO Congress stuff. Like, I genuinely, at this point, I think there's, like, shit going on at the Atlantic. Little Tic Tacs are flying around. We might not know what they are. Maybe we are retrieving them. Maybe that Grush guy's right. No idea. But at the very least, things have been happening with strange flying objects in the Atlantic Ocean. The most... but, as far as history is concerned, I don't see why you need aliens for it to make sense. If anything, makes less sense. Those Tic Tacs seem to not want anything to do with us. I assume that's, regardless of how long that's been going on. Yeah, I don't get the ancient aliens thing in general. I think I'm supposed to drop down somewhere. Was this guy particularly strong? He's built like a little twink. Oh, shit. Okay. This is why I don't like fighting these guys. Gaming. Oh, yeah, Antony was banging that black chick. Oh, God. That bit in the video where I say Cleopatra is black. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm not... Oh, okay. I'm leaving. He doesn't want to fight fair. I don't like him. What was it? I say Cleopatra was black. Then I chomp on the chalk. I'm like, it came to me in a dream. That was a what do you call that? An ad-lib. I ad-lib a lot. That's one thing that I think that the CG cobbler videos that I've started doing is missing. I don't really ad-lib. When you're in front of a camera, you gotta sort of get into a certain headspace where you end up ad-libbing, whether you want to or not. Taking a break from teaching my students about the Paleolithic era and the start of agriculture to watch my favorite schizo pastry, LMAO. Hi from Chicago. Hey, Omar. Omar, you might like this. I don't know if this would fall under the Paleolithic. That's like... I don't even know. I don't know shit about prehistory. I just like when the bearded guys start calling each other names. That's the part I like. I like when they're being catty. Please tell me what you're doing in Farah Missoula, sir, finishing this fight. I'm doing a video on Roman Christians. I know I sort of teased that, probably at some point. Mostly because I want to conclude the series with the Visigoths and Alaric. Moxie Watts said, really uninspired now about TOTK Keck W, but thank you. Thanks, Moxie Watts. I don't know what that means. The only thing that was black about Cleopatra were her nipples. I don't know. I never slept with a Greek woman, so I cannot say if they have dark nipples. We're going to need some intel on that. Why are you so handsome, though? Thanks, Mom. Oh, wait, no, that's Medium D. Hey, Medium D. Medium Mom. Where the fuck am I? How have I totally forgot where I'm supposed to go here? All these fucking guys are just barfing all over me. Immanuel Kant's conflict. Neighboring prison is hilarious. Oh, no! Thanks for coming to the stream to watch me commit suicide over and over. The Battle of Blair Mountain, asking is a proud Appalachian and black lung enjoyer. Yeah, that was a labor thing, right? Like a strike that started to, like the military rolled in. Yeah, that's honestly not something I know too much about. I'm Greek, can confirm. Alright, show us your nipples. Don't be weird, it's for science. Okay. How have I totally forgotten how to get around here? Really appreciate the work you put into your vids. You make some of the best essays on YouTube, along with Jacob Geller and White Light. Thank you. Are you looking for the dragon? No, I'm just looking for the path forward. You know what I'm actually going to do? This isn't fun. I'm just wandering around lost. Also, I just don't like that area. We're going to get to the Hallig tree. They won't tell you this in history class, but Cleopatra looked exactly like waifu Nefeli Liu. Is she wearing shoes? I don't know if she's the best waifu, buddy. Excuse me. You see, Cobbler, the map is like history. It goes in a circle. I get the concept. That's fine. I like the vibes here anyway. You love Game of Thrones. Are you excited for House of the Dragon Season 2? Yeah. I did like the show, obviously. Like, I enjoyed the sort of weird mental game contrasting that with the actual Fire and Blood book. That being said, it just feels nice to get something from that world. And I definitely do think... Hold on. God, these guys are gross. It's a good thing these guys aren't real, because we would have already ethnically cleansed them. Right? Like, imagine. Imagine shanty towns full of these guys. I'd give them 5 years. They got gray blood, too. Let's think of some good slurs, guys. What would we call them? Womp. Here's my lunch money. Thank you. I just really wish they tried to do HBO Rome again, man. I don't know why the hell they haven't. The original plans for that show were really extensive. They were going to go all the way to... I don't know the details about the first Jewish rebellion, but Augustus, like, helped put it down. And I believe that was also when Judea was actually annexed, because before that it was a client kingdom. There were a lot of client kingdoms in the East. It's sort of interesting how Pompey got the title of the Great, considering most of what he did, like literally all that Pompey did was the Maccabees were like fighting a civil war, and Pompey just rolled in and he was like, "Want some help?" He just picked a side, helped that side, and, you know, bing bang boom, Herod. At least that is my recollection. Far Cry 2 video would be cool. It's a pretty interesting game, especially compared to the garbage Ubisoft pumps out now. Yeah, my problem with that is I was having some severe technical difficulties trying to play that game. Do you know what the Romans thought of the Iberians? Seems like a gap in the conquest, or was it just taken from Carthage? It was taken from Carthage. I know it was, what is it? Is it Basque? Those mountains in the north of Iberia were a significant problem to the Romans. I recollect that. You know, it was a little wild. And that's actually why, to this day, there's a pretty significant Celtic population in the area, which I find interesting. HBO Rome was disappointing. I frankly... it's like that, what they say about pizza. Even a bad retelling of the fall of the Roman Republic is still pretty good. It's just such a great story. It's pretty hard to fuck it up. And I like the actors a lot. I almost watched that new Star Wars garbage. It's really crazy to me, man. They keep pumping out Star Wars garbage. I haven't watched anything since like the first Mandalorian. Like, why are you making these still? But they got Titus Pullo, that actor, who I really do like. I've seen him in a few other things. They got him playing like a Jedi, so I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. But then I saw Ahsoka. I didn't really watch the cartoons. I saw the way she looked, and I was like, that looks ridiculous. I'm not watching that. I mean, Star Wars has always looked ridiculous, I guess, but I don't know. It looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous in a charmless way. What do you think of the survival game based on the Roman Empire, similar to how Valheim works with Vikings? You know, like I've said, I really, part of what gets me into a history is the aesthetic of the culture, time, and place. I really do adore that late Republic, early Empire look. Like I went to Pompeii when I visited Italy. It was really great just seeing like the way they painted the walls and all that stuff. It was really beautiful. I'm glad you haven't been convicted for drug dealing in former Yugoslavia yet. You mean future Serbian Empire? Are there any historical movies that are totally horribly inaccurate but you still love them to death? Gladiator, I guess. I wouldn't say I love it to death. I like it a lot. You know, I don't really watch too many historical movies. Well, Rome season 2 is actually a good example because they skip over so much. It's very disappointing, but it's still really good. Andor, I keep hearing Andor's cool. I just don't want to watch fucking Star Wars. I'm just done with it, I guess. Even back in the day, I barely cared. And now I'm a grown man, and I can't be fucked to deal with that. Like, me and my fiance, we watch Disney Plus constantly, but it's always the National Geographic shit. And it's not like, I'm trying to make it sound like, oh, we're too smart. Like, no, it's like, we're watching, like, usually, like, the animal, like, zoo shows and veterinary shows. It's cool, because you do get to learn a little bit about the animals. Hold on. There's this show called Secrets of the Zoo. There are a few different zoo shows. It's like you got the Zoo Tampa show, and then they're just reality shows where it's like, this is what it's like behind the scenes at a zoo. And originally when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, it's going to be interpersonal work drama. It's going to be like one of those Pawn Stars shows or something. But no, it's just normal people. Like, they're really not trying to play up any, it's just like, hey, we want to help these animals. Gotta try to figure it out. Sometimes it's gross and funny. Like, if you want to do, like, I forget what they were trying. They were trying to do some sort of procedure on an elephant. They had to clean the poop out of its butt. So that was gross, but also funny. There's lots of little things, And you see some of the cute, like bush babies. You see some of the cutest little animals. Just a very charming show. What was I saying? Anyway, Secrets of the Zoo. So like I said, there's a few different versions. And the original one, me and my girlfriend are constantly joking about it. They put down way more animals than the other shows. Like, it's the reality of the situation. A horse breaks a leg, you can't just put it in a little horse wheelchair. But they put down way more animals, and it's sort of concerning. It's like, it's just so fucking funny to me. And we're constantly like, do they cut? Did they? You gotta assume that was the first version of that idea, and the rest are spin-offs. So it's like, did the producers realize, hey, people don't like us putting down all these animals, we're not going to show this that much in the future? Shit. Or, wow, I really am. I just can't stop thinking about all the dead animals. I'm sorry, it's awful. I'm laughing about this. There's something about it just cracks me up. Oh god, there's another show on that National Geographic. The shows aren't very smart, But there was one of them. God, it was like a show where it's like you get bitten by animals. Like, a guy got bit by a grizzly bear. He got attacked by a grizzly bear, and this is his story. So obviously it's it's pretty compelling. Just these normal guys, telling their story with these little reenactments. Sir, stay still, please. Oh, fuck me. Out of stamina. Oh, yeah, we're gonna lose this one. But we'll get back. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm really off my game. It's Animal Auschwitz. Welcome back to the Auschwitz Zoo and Aquarium. God, that show is rough. Ugh. I don't know. Canada seems to contextualize itself purely as they just want to not be America, but they can't help but be America. Sucks for them. And I went to Europe. We already won. Like I lived there for over a few years because I was stationed in Germany. Like America already won. Like it's you're all American or in the process of rapidly becoming American. Sucks. Buy some sweatpants and get on Facebook, fucker. It's over for your culture. Did you watch that German Barbarian show set during the I watched the first episode. I assumed the climax of the show was Teutoburg Forest. I just wanted to see it because I heard I keep every few months I'm like I'm gonna learn Latin. I start to like I got this in the Latin learning community. It's called Lipsy. It's pretty Jesus, it's hard to it's pretty cool. Because it's basically a children's book in Latin. So it's like let me see. Let me find a good example. I got to get back into this. Oh god, I went too far forward and I was scared. It's like Julia cantat la Julia laeta est Marcus laetus non est. So it's like Julia's singing la 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 la. Julia's happy. Marcus says shut the fuck up. He's not happy. It's like very basic. It's like the fox jumped over the hen house or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. I need to get back into it. I was so overwhelmed by the Aztec thing, I totally dropped it. Can you make a video on the invasion of Panama? Are you referring to something America did in the 20th century or something Spain did in the 16th century? Because all I know is, what was it? I read something. After Cortez took Montezuma captive, Diaz mentions how he sent out some expeditions to like see what's going on, you know, like in the area, like the broader area. One of the guys saw, you know, the Pacific Ocean. I was like, was that the first European to see the Pacific Ocean? But then, you know, Aguilar, like he was in Panama. They had seen the Pacific Ocean prior to that. Oh, sorry. I think I missed some. I finally peed in the toilet instead of in my pants this time. Are you proud of me, Cobbler? I won't hit you tonight. You did a good job. Your Elden Ring and Dark Souls videos are what convinced me to finally buy DS1. I don't know a lot about the games, and I'm going to experience them all one by one 12 years late. It's good that you're starting with Dark Souls 1, because I, like, cannot go back to it. It's so fucking clunky. Dark Souls 2 also. Everything from Dark Souls 3 forward is just another level, you know. What's like being a tactical fanboy in Europe? Oh no, I didn't go to Greece. Remember the stream from Italy? I loved it so much how unhinged you and your girlfriend became in the end. Oh yeah. No, I was man, that's some of the drunkest I've ever been. That was on stream. We looked into the hilarity of Roman graffiti. Oh yeah, absolutely. Really gives insight. Weep girls. My penis has given you up. Now it only penetrates men's behinds. I believe that was in Pompeii. And, you know, they also carved dicks on a lot of things. But that was, for them, they carved dicks on a lot of things, but it was apparently actually a good luck thing. Like, they had these road markers. They were called Hermes somethings. It's literally just a pillar with a head at the top and a cock and balls. It's very funny. First time I saw one, it was actually in Italy. Like, we were in the Capitoline Museum. And my girlfriend was like, did they carve statues by starting at the genitals and then the head or something? Because, like, we didn't know what that was, and I had to look it up. I had no idea. It was very funny, though. DS1's still fun if you can enjoy the jank. I find it's... A lot of people talk about some FromSoft games. Like, at the end, they sort of start to fall apart. Dark Souls 1's usually the example people go to. I know it's like after the Lord Vessel is the common take. Elden Ring, a similar thing happens after Lindell. But I don't think it's like even comparable. Like, I think Dark Souls 1 really falls apart. It's very uneven, and I get it, and it's still great, but it's very uneven. It's hard to go back to. What about the history of post-barbaric invasions Italy? I don't really like the Middle Ages in general. People keep trying to tell me I should care. It's that thing I talked about where it's like you'll be or it's like they'll be like, you should do this, it's really interesting. And like sometimes they'll give an example of like why it's really interesting. And every example is fucking stupid. And I'm sorry. But it's like Edward the 18th when he fought the Duchess of Cornwall, you know, in the grand battle of Hergenflurgenshire. You know, it was a bloodbath, comparable to the Battle of Somme, the Battle of Carhaix. Over 10 men died. It's like, I don't give a shit about your small scale garbage. I don't care. I want grand narratives, civilizations falling and rising, and culture clash. You know, that's what I like. Culture clash obviously is something I really deeply love. I also like people sort of trying to be good people within the bounds of an evil system. Like, obviously, Sahagún, like, I love that. I loved, you know, Scipio Emilianus, you know, having that little moment of reflection, Smedley Butler. Like, I've talked about, like, you know, this is the sort of thing that I like. I'm sure you can find figures like that in the Middle Ages. I guess Martin Luther, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, the best thing about the Middle Ages is they preserved the monks preserved a lot of writing, although they edited it a lot. It's funny. So I mentioned Josephus Flavius is like the first guy outside of like the Bible and shit to actually talk about Jesus, right? And there's two parts of the Bible. There's two parts of his I don't know if it was in Antiquities of the Jews or the Jewish War. Either way. There's two parts where he brings up Jesus. In the first part, he's like just talking about various messianic figures that have arisen. He's like, oh, there's Jesus, who was called Christ. He got crucified, whatever. It was very brief. And the second part where he mentions him is here. Actually, let me read it. It's so goofy. Like, the second I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is some revision. Someone's, you know, editing this shit. You know, you can picture some monk like, I don't want to get in trouble. Trying to, here, let me see. In the Dark Age 2.0, culture is dead and we killed it. It's a strange feeling to be ashamed of your civilization, and also acknowledge the role you play in that. Alright, there's Wikipedia. Alright, so it was Antiquities of the Jews. So Antiquities of the Jews is like is almost fucking impossible to read, by the way. For me, anyway. Because it's like so steeped in like the environment of the time. Where is it? Okay, this is the part that is absolutely monks adding this shit later. And to be clear, this is not something I made up. This is what people think happened. Because it's ridiculous. It sticks out like a sore thumb. About this time there lived Jesus, a wise man, if indeed one ought to call him a man. Josephus Flavius was Jewish. He was not, you know, like I'm sure, like obviously a lot of crossover between Christians and Jews at this time, but like, no. He was not like, oh, I just love this Jeebus Christ guy. Like, no, he's not a fan. Especially because he was trying to, you know, he was trying to suck up to the Flavians. All his writings, like, it was sponsored by the Flavians, you know. For he was one who performed surprising deeds and was a teacher of such people as accept the truth gladly. He won over many Jews and many of the Greeks. He was the Christ. And when, upon the accusation of the principal men among us, Pilate had condemned him to a cross, those who had first come to love him did not cease. He appeared to them. He's literally just describing the resurrection. History is fun. People will tell you it's not. It actually is. Like when it's not just some teacher telling you what happened, but when you're trying to actually figure out what happened, you'll see these lies that are so obvious you can't stop laughing. He appeared to them, spending a third day restored to life, for the prophets of God had foretold these things and 1,000 other marvels about him. And the tribe of the Christians, so called after him, has still to this day not disappeared. Wow. That's the equivalent of like if I was writing a script about the Aztecs, and then right in the middle I talk about the Prophet Muhammad and how glorious Allah is. It's like, what the fuck? Who put this in here? It seems a little out of nowhere and not consistent with what I understood of this author. It's just the funniest shit, man. Bronze Age collapse. Oh, no. Yeah, that could be something. The thing is, I'm not sure if there's... I like latching on to the human stuff, you know, in videos. I don't know if such... I don't know if you can really get that from something that old, something pre-Herodotus. But, I don't know. There was, I watched a Historia Civilis video on it. He mentioned there was some letter from, I think it was like a Hittite king. I forget the details. But, that was pretty compelling and sort of made you realize, oh yeah, it's what it was like to be there. History is one of those things where the more you learn about history, the more you want to know about history, because you finally start to really appreciate that these were humans, I guess, and not just names on paper. Like my fiance last night was telling me about, they just found a little boy from like Neolithic period, like, God, I think it was 9,000 years ago. He was buried with a necklace of seashells and jade. And, it gets you thinking about that. Like a 7-year-old boy, it's like, man, I wonder what the story is behind that. We'll never know, but it's, makes you really think about that. It's not just some artifact. It's a little boy died, and it clearly someone cared deeply about him. This is how it starts. Cobbler's channel has 400k, so now he pivots to low-effort streams and gets the easy money. Ironic that I'm participating. This is not as fun as making videos, don't worry. It's fun to do this sometimes, but, like, there's a reason that when I'm in the depths, like, I recently, on Twitch, I was like, alright, guys, I'm gonna start streaming, but then I pretty quickly, like, daily streams. But then I pretty quickly dropped that when I realized I really got to finish this Aztec video. And, like, I wouldn't even play games on stream. I would just, I would mostly edit on stream or read on stream as research for the video. Like, even when I was streaming, I was working on the video. It's just not as fun. It's not, I'm not proud of this. I'm just sitting in a chair playing a fucking video game. You know what I mean? I'm not like, ooh, look at what I made. Like, I don't care. Pursue my passion projects on Korean history instead of it being a dying dream. Well, I'm glad, man. That's always nice. I mean, a 7-year-old man with a wife and kids. It was the past, after all. It's a different country, that place. Do you think Josephus would approve Israel's actions if he was alive today? Y'all really want me to talk about that, don't you? Who fucking knows, man? I don't know. He'd probably be confused as to why Palestinians exist if Israel can so easily wipe them off the map. He'd be like, what's the problem? I had my girlfriend watch a Smedley Butler video. I said I was going to leave because she said she hit you? Well, sounds like you should have watched your mouth. All right. I hope that's a joke. Hey, man, I want you to know that your content's been fucking awesome. I've been here from before 100k, and your Aztec video was great. Thank you. I'm only your second favorite white guy. I'm getting that. Yeah, I'm smoking on that USB stick. I'm getting that digital cancer. What's your opinion on Assassin's Creed Valhalla? What's my opinion on fucking cockroaches? Like, what do you mean? It's garbage. Historic serpent worshipping cults. Well, all hail Glykon, the all-powerful serpent god. First of all. You put some respect on his fucking name. I never actually thought about that. I don't know. You ever read Aristotle's Athenian Constitution? I've never sat down and just read Aristotle. You know, like I've read passages. Like in particular, I got this book from Mary Beard, who's like on laughter, like Roman laughter. Surprisingly interesting. But I'm pretty sure it was Aristotle. Aristotle had this theory of laughter, which was obviously goofy as hell. You know, it's like when you get tickled, you laugh, or you laugh at people's misfortune, and you laugh when you get tickled. Because, what was the logic? It was like it warms up your diaphragm and you have to release the heat. It's so funny. A lot of Greek philosophers, whenever you do read their stuff, it's mostly them just being like, this sounds right. They just sort of go with it. This is why it's always confusing me. The Greek statue, uh, you know, profile picture guys. It's like obviously I love classical antiquity, but most of what's funny about it is they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's where a lot of the fun comes from for me. You know, they'll be like, you know, what was the name of the guy that like dissected people? Was it Hippocrates? I don't know, but it was some guy in Alexandria, you know, Hellenistic period. He was like dissecting people, which was obviously like at the time like woo, mad scientist shit. And he thought the brain, its job was to cool blood, because it sort of looks like it would radiate heat, wouldn't it? Because it's got all those folds and stuff. It's an interesting educated guess, but that's all it is. It's just educated guesses because they didn't have a scientific method, so they didn't really test stuff. I guess maybe engineer adjacent guys like Archimedes had to test stuff, but a lot of the theoretical writings that they did, it was just nonsense, sort of fun. Greek philosophy was bro science. Yeah, exactly, it was bro science. That's the best way to put it. It's like, bro, you got to drink a protein shake before bed, bro. You don't drink one before bed, you're gonna starve, bro. You're gonna get out of that bed looking like you're getting out of Auschwitz, bro. Come on, bro. Like it's just that. Like it sounds right. You can't absorb more than 30 grams of protein in a single meal. That sounds right. I don't know enough about protein to argue against it. Mary Beard has a book on slave management. Very practical. Well, I've been trying to manage my slaves better. They keep killing themselves. I gotta find slaves with a nice slavish nature. That's my problem. Imagine if the Aztec way of warfare took over instead of the European medieval total warfare. I know would be solve our disagreements with COD Fortnite lobbies. Who's your favorite philosopher? Mine's Slavoj Zizek. I don't really read philosophy. I want to be honest. I get a lot of questions about it. I think people assume I would. I don't know why. I just don't. I mostly just read history, science fiction. Yeah, that's basically it. I like some fantasy. I've read one political theory book. What was it? It's like Conquest of Bread. Most of it political theory is just like, I'm not going to organize, I'm not going to vote, I don't care, so I'm not going to do any of that. You know. If philosophers had the scientific method, you know, we'd probably be 1,000 years further along by this point. It was a joke, haha. I just want to support your future. I don't want. Oh, okay. No, you're good. I was just trying to reassure you because I know a lot of YouTubers do that. You know, that is not the goal. You know. I like to think that Archimedes was just doing a Mr. Beast video. I just made the world's biggest mirror, and you won't believe what happens next. I know there's a lot of questions about whether or not the death ray is real, but like his arm definitely is, and that's pretty fucking cool to me. I think about that a lot. We got all these Roman ships like coming up to the walls, and this big mechanical arm just fucking like that's fucking awesome. Do you plan to do a vid on the Byzantines? I don't know. I never know what's next. Opinion on Columbus? Are you out of interesting video ideas about the Romans? Are you out of your fucking mind? Absolutely not. I got too many ideas about the Romans. The problem is always choosing what to do next. I just fell into the Aztec thing, and I was like, wow, this is really, like, gripping. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So I wanted to know more. Opinion on Columbus? I don't know. I think the generic one, you know. Like, even among, The big thing about anyone... So, someone said something... I don't, particularly as it pertains to the Spanish New World, I don't take anything for granted now. I don't want to make any strong statements unless I've read 10 different books on that specific situation. Because I know people have talked about Columbus had his character was assassinated by political enemies. I don't know about that. But, from my understanding is, you know, you can't really use the defense of, well, it was a different time. They were okay with that back then. Because they weren't. Queen Isabella was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, that's not okay. Yeah, the Spanish knew very well that what they were doing wasn't right. So as a consequence of that, you have a great deal of Spaniards. Queen Isabella comes to mind. She was big on trying to, protect their rights as they were. Obviously, they wouldn't have thought of it in that terms, but it was like they're Spanish subjects, Obviously, Las Casas. Sahagún, I wouldn't say he really fought for their rights. I would say he fought for them to have a voice, and he essentially lost. But I guess long con, the long game. It took several centuries for the Florentine Codex to even be accounted for in their library because they did an inventory. So what has been the strangest thing about getting out of the military for you? For me, it was realizing how much normal people were even slower and more incompetent than us. Also, everyone is late. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is, if I worked in the, if I actually had a real job, I'd probably notice that more. But it's I don't really, this is all just me, with the exception of obviously Majora Z helped a shitload with the Aztec video. But 90% of the time, it's just me doing my thing, so I don't really think about it like that. I guess. What happened to the copper crackdown? Oof, I don't know, man. Can we get a hint? Or I think I've already said what's next. What did the ancient Romans think about Egypt is the current plan. I'm sorry, I'm way behind on messages here. Can I slurp you like a Gogurt asking like a friend for $5? Oh no, now I sound like a dick. Don't fucking clip that. What was that chick? $10 is slurping me like a Gogurt prices, sir. Talk about culture clash. Should we expect a Mongol invasion vid? I've always been a little curious about the Mongols in Russia. Everything that I've seen, because there's 3 levels of interest with history for me, right? There's 1 is I don't know and I don't care. 2 is read some Wikipedia when I can't sleep at night, watch YouTube videos. And 3 is get books, dive into it, write about it. My cat's on the fridge doing weird shit right now. Books, really dig into it. Try to figure out what actually happened. Everything that I've heard about the Mongols in Russia is interesting. So that might be something I'd want to get into in the future. But it's one of those things. It's so if you're reading a book about Rome, and the author's well, in Mauritania. And you're oh, I know where Mauritania is. But you read, for example, I started reading the Aztec videos. And it's well, in Texcoco. And I'm what the fuck is Texcoco? Who is this? What? Who are these people? What the fuck is a Nahua? What's a Totonac? What? So it's there's these locations and these people and these conflicts that have existed between them. It takes a bit to come to grips with what the fuck is actually going on. So whenever you want to dive into a new historical event, because it's if I want to learn about the Mongols in Russia, I need to learn about Russia. I know nothing about Russia. The Kievan Rus, right? I think was it Ivan the Terrible that kicked the Mongols out? I don't even know. And I got to learn about the Mongols too. I got to learn a lot just to be able to speak with any amount of authority whatsoever on the subject. Loved your Aztec videos. Thank you, Najay. All right, where were we? What's your cat's name? Sia. I named her after the CIA because she's an acoustic kitty. What's your favorite century? I guess the 1st or the 16th. It would basically just be what you would expect, early Empire or the Spanish New World. Because I said, that Cordoba stuff earlier on the stream. It was very interesting. Anyway, I gotta stop the stream, guys. Part of Mesoamerican cities. So they'll have 4 slightly different ways of spelling their name. Every Mesoamerican city has 8 syllables and 4 different ways of spelling their name. It's so fun. You read the Bernal Diaz account, they're the Tlaxcalans from Tlaxcala. Then, you read a modern account, it's like they're the Tlaxcalteca from Tlaxcalan. It's like, what? Are these the same guys? Your Montezuma videos gave me something I need to research more into. Thanks for all your work. No, thank you for watching. Honestly, I'd be doing this even if y'all weren't. So, it's always nice. It's nice that I get to do this for a living now. It, means a lot to me. Now I don't have to deal with now I don't have to sit in a beige dungeon fucking testing the same radio over and over again. I get to, learn, write, share what I learned. It's very fun. Well, thanks for stopping by, guys. Adios. Rage quitting. Fuck you.